Shalom, 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 shalom. You man to set himself up. Get a bit situated. Right. Birthday Yahweh, birthday Yahweh Shai, birthday Yahweh, birthday Yahweh Shai, birthday Yahweh, birthday Yahweh Shai. Call on Yahweh, Al-Haina, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakudash, Allah Yahweh, Allah Yahweh Shai. Giving all praise and honor and glory to our power, Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakudash, the powers of Yasha Allah of Israel, being the gods or the powers of Israel. All right, Yahweh being the Most High, and the word he calls God. All right, his name is Yahweh. His name being he is, he exists, or he can be. All right. Hashem is in the name. Yahweh Shai is the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father of the world, as God Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai, meaning he, the deliverer for the nation of Israel. Hashem Chakodash, name of the Spirit, Holy, of course, the Holy Spirit, which we have the multitude of angels, which assist those that preach the gospel. All right, me being a prophet, obviously acknowledging that through the Spirit. All right, let it be, of course, manifest, but the spirit of prophets are subject to the prophets. Through the Spirit, the Lord draw me to this word and prophesying, doctrine of Yahweh Shai. Of course, giving double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, the elder bishops, a great millstone, who all in the Aqua and the brotherhood. All right, a great millstone and such. All right, the sincere election is saved there. The election being 144,000, starting with Ashim, the heats. Okay, and also the rest of 1/3. Believers, remember, children are no prophets, but the Lord's going to have mercy upon. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners as well. Like unto the speckled bird that look like the heathen nations where they've been scattered to, but lineage go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, despite what their appearance may be. So, Shemel Makba, names of Makba, Mayan Gawal Akab, Machana for the Great Millstone Camp, simply plain tables by a yard in the city of Philadelphia. Just coming with this week lesson. All right, through the Spirit. Today, we just got the order up top from the heat of the camp, so we didn't go ahead today. So pretty much was told to just do a lesson. All right, so I'm making do with the command, the new. We'll just see, of course, where the Spirit guides and speaks on. Now, a bit earlier, I was having a wee discourse with my young from the camp here in Philadelphia, Great Millstone, Philadelphia, our Plaintables camp in Philadelphia. He was talking about this, what is it, the temperature, how, the Lord had brought forth over here in Babylon the Great, some type of Siberian, he coined it like a Siberian, I forget how he said, like a Siberian cyclone or something. I forget what how he worded it. If he gets on a comment board, he can probably restate what he said. I believe he did a lesson on it too. Let me see if I can find it. And basically, he was just mentioning it's like the Lord bringing, of course, way over from Siberia, over the east. This cold, it might be like a Siberian cold front or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what it's called. Let's see if that might be it. So you got Siberian cold front arrives Yeah, so that's I believe, yeah, that's through the spirit. It says um, extreme cold air from Siberia will send the U.S. into deep freeze days before. And this was published way back in December the 14th, 2022. Right? It sends the U.S. into like a deep freeze, so called before Christmas, right? And it's crazy. Like, let me see, was that yesterday or the day before? I believe I woke up and it was like 58 degrees, and then all of a sudden, like you have it. I believe even the chick had actually put up how much the temperatures had dropped so suddenly. She may even said my like a because this is actually when I woke up today, it was in a single digit, right? Being 7 degrees and here in Philadelphia, PA. All right, and this is all brought from the Lord, which Yahweh I get a precept on that. Okay, so like yesterday, you had rain and you had also some here in Philadelphia. You had also like some kind of like some snow that came with it too. It's just like wow, like you're like, damn, this is crazy, outrageous. But usually around a time like this, it should just be cold. But this was some extreme cold here and such. And so definitely is a sign, from the Lord. Arctic blast, all right, uh, coined on this one site, Axos. All right. So let me see if I can find a precept maybe in the book of Job that may talk about like the snow and cold and all of that, and how it's being from the heavenly Father, how Hashem Yahushai. Okay, so shalom to those that are on the comment board. I have to see whoever is on the comment board, they watching and such. I'm gonna look up snow, cold. Yeah, so Job. I'm checking 37. And 6. I'm gonna start at verse 22. It's the book of Job, chapter 36 and 22. All right, this is Eliyahu, which is one of Job's friends that was speaking, obviously trying to rebuke him and such, came against him, so because he was catching hell. But he had said this. He says, "Behold, the power exalted by his power, who teaches like him?" Right, and the Most High by his power, who teaches like the Most High? All right, the actual power of heaven, earth, and all that has been created. Okay, hey, the best teacher is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And as it's written, hey, really, I mean, or as it's a statement that said that, one of the best teachings is going, basically going through adversity, because therefore through adversity you learn, like what you actually are, you know. See, pretty much manifesting what type of sort you are, because You know, when you're going through prosperity and getting through different like successful times and such, you know, somebody can pretty much uh, you know, be a whole different person. But when they go to hell, hey, you can see, you know, their true selves. Okay, which let me see if I'm gonna get that in the book of in the book of Ecclesiastes, the Apocrypha, and maybe like, hey, this is not my actual original Apocrypha. Where's my original Apocrypha? My original Apocrypha is probably like, let's see, somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. All right, my original Apocrypha. Okay. This precept. Prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. Where is that? All right, this is hmm. See, I gotta find it. There's another precept that could go with it, but I need the other precept. There's a scripture I know a friend cannot be yeah. All right, here it is. The book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 25. It says, "In the day of prosperity, there is forgetfulness of affliction." Right, when you're prospering, you know, hey, the times of having tough times and hard times and such. That's like in the back of your heat. It's no even like at the top of your you know like in the front of your mind and such. It's no something that's actually of I would say of the of your main thoughts and such. Mainly when you're living in pleasure and such, and hey, you're just enjoying all that going through and such. Just think about it like when you're in on a so-called vacation or holiday, which in this captivity, like I said, we don't really have that. Hey, we in slavery everywhere we go, and like I said, this ain't our rest. You know, even when if you were to take a so-called holiday or something, um, you still got to go back to some type of captivity and such. So that's like a mental anguish, of course, on the mind and such. But it says, uh, in the day of prosperity, there's forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. Right? When you're catching hell, you know, it ain't like you think about prosperity. You know, because you're going through that affliction, and it'd be so hard of a trial that, like I said, you don't even be thinking about it. Like you're like, man, this hell is crazy. It's all I can concentrate on because it's so hard to bear. Okay, it says, verse 27: the affliction of an error maketh a man to forget pleasure. Okay, the affliction, right? Which this humble. When you go to being afflicted, you get humbled and such. You know, it says a man forget pleasure. You know, you'll cease to care about pleasure. You're like, man, damn, man, f all, like you know, f all this, and like you have a person there be so consumed of the actual affliction that they're getting through, which in this case, loads of people are freezing, okay, and pipes are bursting. That's one thing that I remember. Even it even came to my mind as such because my mom she got a house and a house don't is has really no actual built no heating system, and so most of the time and such in the winter, you'd be more so afraid when the temperatures day drop that the pipes would possibly burst in the basement. Like me and there's a particular pipe that's by the this like water main meter, and pretty much that just like it's like this pipe it pretty much regulates all of the water that's coming into the house or something like that sort. So I remember this one year when that actually burst, in the middle of the night, um, and it like thankfully there's an actual a drain in the actual basement of the actual basement bathroom, and we was able to push water down the drain, but the problem was is that we had to get this shut off this like this water main, but the thing is we didn't know where was the actual water main shut off at. And even in this emergency situation, we had called somebody, this like guy that kind of like a handyman and such, and he yiquab and he's talking about, oh, it's going for me to come out, I got something to turn it off from the actual street. You got like pretty much it's like a lever, and that you'll put into the ground and turn it, and it would turn it off. But that didn't even work. He came over and that didn't work. And then I don't know, dude, somehow um, it was revealed. Like I think he even left and such. And then I believe it came to a point where like the water was just gushing out this bathroom wall and such. And then it was it was um it was like dry. The pretty much the main valve to shut it off was drywalled over behind the wall, but since the water was coming out of the wall, it pretty much all disintegrated. So you can see the valve. But going through that, like at the middle of the night, it was just like it had you forgetting about prosperity, thinking about the good times and such. You just concentrate on that, and then you're like, well, even if you got that close, all right, well, now I don't have any running water in the house, and it's still cold. Okay, and then I, of course, got to deal with the repair. And that money you got to get the repair. And like I said, this is um, just a little wee bit of adversity that just occurred in a time in which we have access to what different people of service to fix things and such. You have parts and like I say, you got people around, but it's gonna come a time and when the people, things, these different tribulations are going to happen, and Navy is going to be there to actually assist and help you. You know, um, for the most part, for those that are the wicked, because the elect, the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to try us, but He's going to be obviously assisting a succor onto us. All right. Um, Let me go into just one precept. Just say one of the things, because in the last days, some of the prophecies speak about like how the people's spirit. Okay, this is Matthew chapter 24, and it says, right, these are signs of the Lord's coming. And he sat on the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be be the sign, the tokens of thy coming, and the end of the world, the end of the rulership, right? Which Esau Edom is ruling. He proclaims himself to be white, but he isn't. He's actually red. Out of one, out of one, which means red. All right. And he has that blood showing through his skin, lacking the melanin. Okay. So it says that, um, and because of iniquity, is verse 12, shall be abandoned, the love of many shall wax cold. Okay? So in this time, you're going to have, of course, many people that are literally cold hearted. They don't care, they're unaffected by whatever you're going through and such. You thinking people are going to be neighbors, it's going to be neighbor against neighbor. All right? And they're going to care about what you experiencing. All right? I mean, more so, what can you do for me? And it's going to be a lot of really betrayal and, really a lot of fatalities out here. Okay? So, I'm going to go back. Because this was what the Lord is bringing. He's bringing a storm. Okay? But I'm going to go back to that precept. That was Job chapter 36 and 26, and then we'll just get to it. Behold, the power is great, and we know him not, neither can we. Sorry, that's not the precept. Yeah, 36 and 22 said, behold, the power exalted by his power, who teaches like him, who hath enjoined him his way, or who can say thou hast wrought iniquity? Remember that thou magnify his work which men behold. All right? And people see the work of the Lord. All right? You can't say that this is just a mother nature. Like a day comes from, it was like you say, it was like spring like temperatures, and then anywhere it's blistering cold. Hands will probably freeze up in a second. All right, if they're unexposed, get frostbite. Okay, going on. It says, every man may see it, man may behold it afar off. Behold, the power is great, and we know him not, neither can the number of his years be searched out. All right, and we know that the Most High is the Ancient of Days. All right, he has no beginning and no ending. All right, the Most High Yahweh. All right, for he maketh small the drops of water, they pour down rain according to the vapor thereof. All right, so the Lord, right, he controls the water, the rain, etc., which the clouds they drop and distill upon man abundantly, right? And they get on a man, all right? So the Lord bring forth the heavy rain, rain and such. Okay. When somebody giving credit unto the creation and not the creator, they going off. Okay. It says, also, can any understand the spreading of the clouds, or the noise of his tabernacle? Behold, he spreadeth his light upon it, and covereth the bottom of the sea. For by them judgeth he the people, he giveth meat in abundance. With clouds he covereth the light, and commandeth it not to shine by the cloud that cometh betwixt. All right. Now I'm gonna skip down 37, and this is now verse 3. He directed it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. After it a voice roareth, it thundereth with the voice of his excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. The power thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doth he which we cannot comprehend. You know, like just thinking out of nowhere, it could be like I keep saying, like being 58 degrees and then it's being single digits like that. And it happening like right there in real time, you know? Going down, it says, for he said to the snow, be thou on the earth. So the Lord actually commands the snow. All right? Simple as that. I'm going to repeat that. For he said to the snow, be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, to the great rain of his strength. Right? So, like I said, the Lord controlled these different weather. Okay? And especially storms. Okay? Because I'm going to get, it's going to say a precept, and I'm going to get another precept. It says, this is verse 9. It says, out of the south cometh a whirlwind, and cold out of the north. By the breath of the power, frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightened. Also by watering, he watereth the thick cloud, he scattereth his bright cloud, and it is turned round about by his pencils. All right, and obviously the Lord, he has of course angels, which hey, you got like different, cancers goes on in the heaven, and the Lord have actual angel go and day something, and like you said, turn man heart, you could go into account of that, you know. But going on, and it says, and they may do whatever or whatsoever he commandeth them upon the face of the world and the earth. All right. So even going to show you, like the Lord have counsels and things going down to do exactly what he wants in the world and in the earth. All right. So there's an invisible world. All right. Let me see something real quick. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 2. It says, the power is jealous, the Lord Yahweh revengeth, the Lord revengeth and is furious. The scriptures talk about how the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. It says, and will take vengeance on his adversaries, those that are against him, his enemies. Okay? It says, and he will reserve his wrath for his enemies. Right. There's the enemies the Lord actually sets up a reserved wrath for. The scriptures say about how the Lord, he knows how to preserve the wicked for the day of evil. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? It says, the Lord Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not acquit. He ain't gonna quit clear to the charge. The wicked Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Okay? So the Lord Yahweh Shai has his way, all right? His course, within these different storms and such. When the Lord destroy you, the damn storm and freeze you to death, hey, know that the Lord did it. All right, so if you want to be angry at the Lord, hey, because the Lord brought a sentence unto you for the different works you have committed. As the scriptures say, back in Sirach 11 and verse 26, for it's an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. You can be the day of death that the Lord sanctioned for you to die in a Siberian cold front. Okay, because you got loads of people that already are struggling day to the the rise of inflation. The time of course, the black horse, but you have the inflation and the hyperinflation. All right, many people they're struggling to still keep themselves their heat above water. Okay, and like I said, he knows that. Hey, it's no coincidence at all, but there's any coincidences that you have it at the end of the year. You got this crazy cold front that's going on. You got it that's projected. I think by Thursday it may go up already in its 50s here in Philadelphia. And it's all of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Whether the Lord is making use, of course, different weather manipulating technologies to day these things, or if it's just the Lord Himself doing these things. But the Lord Himself to the credit because He's the one that's doing these things and such, and making it smooth. All right, that by the breath of the power, right, the spirit of the power of frost is given. Okay, so it's the spirit of the Hebrew. All right, it says the book also. Of Isaiah chapter, it's like 28 or something like that. This is Isaiah chapter 29 and 6. All right, reads, it says, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of the very fire ardent." Storm, right there, which I believe is in the Hebrew, maybe the Hebrew word sa'ir. Let me see, I'm gonna double check that. Which is actually for sa'ir is tempest, which means storm. Storm itself is sawapa, from sawap. All right, so sawapa actually, which is storm or wind. All right, a hurricane, got whirlwind, storm, tempest. All right, and sa'ir, which is the word I usually use, or tempest. Sa'ir, which is a whirlwind, hurricane, tempest, storm. Okay, visited. All right, which is quad, which means um, visit, also means to punish. Okay, so the Lord, He's making His way in these different storms. Okay, this is Isaiah 28 and 2. Behold, the Lord has a mighty and strong one, which it has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, and as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down the earth with the hand. And ultimately the Lord will bring forth nuclear missiles and destroy Babylon the Great, America, into other places on the earth. Bring a cleansing to this earth. Bring example in what you do wickedness. That's what America's going to be, here as a memorial for burning. All right. Let me see if I can get other preset. Look at Sirach again. Sirach, maybe the 40th chapter or something like that. Give me a wee moment. Dude, this is the earth from which he made. Here, see him telling the earth. You see, it might be in Ezra's. Just check. Check on that comment board too. If anything, I'm not sure. Look it up. Give me a moment. All right, this is the earth which he made. That precept, I need that. Maybe second Ezra's 9 or something like that. What the hell? It didn't come up. But in the meantime, I'm going to read this second Ezra's chapter 16 and verse 37. It says, behold, the plagues, these different curses draw nigh and are not slack. Okay, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringing forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pain when the child cometh forth, they slack not for a moment. Even so shall not those plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. And hey, man, these different storms, is are plagues. Okay, a bomb cyclone, somebody getting froze to death, man. You had a time when I think it was this. I forget what happened. Was like super duper cold in Texas, and different states where it's no like normal for it to drop and be cold like that. And, loads of people they died trying to heat themselves or like put themselves in a room with certain heaters which emit carbon dioxide, and end up killing themselves from carbon dioxide poisoning and such. All right, but that's the desperation a person would have just to get warm. They'll rather, which like I said, would be ignorance too. Like I said, somebody put themselves in a garage, running a car, and the carbon dioxide kills them and such. And they got some crazy stories that happen, but these different plagues, they're gonna make people do things that they never thought they would do, and then these people are gonna, like I said, hurt themselves. Okay, we in them times. Okay, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, in verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, right? We got the time of Jacob trouble, which is fast approaching. We approach in 2023. Remember, this was the year of what? The turn up. Okay, things were definitely turned up, man. I could definitely tell at the end of this so-called year, all right, Esau's team, she changed times and such. Yo, you got, like I said, loads of coldness out here, man. Like I said, I was at filling up some some gas in a truck, and this cop was right there. This damn cop, I said pretty much like I greeted him. The dude didn't even look at me. The damn SWAT cop or something like that, or some type of special unit cop, you know. And I'm just like, dude, like, and he might have been a terror. I'm just like, dude, like, and then I was just meditating. I was like, yo, these, my modern day cops are like like your modern day what centurions and such. Our ancient day centurions, Roman Empire. You know what I mean? Because this is New Rome again, or yeah, is reincarnated. So hey, for me to even expect the guy to be, like of a good heart or a good, pretty much of a good, like to be like pretty much like like not of that nature. Like this to be like sweet or like kind of, not even sweet, like saying like they're just being like a bit courteous. You got these dudes, they're just straight up soldiers and such, man. And like I said, they got that condescending spirit, too on them and such, where they think they better than the rest. You know, not knowing, like I said, the Lord will get down into a spiritual power, um, and it's going to destroy them. When of course the enemy cometh like a flood on, the Israelites, particularly the elect, the Lord going to lift up standards, spiritual power, and bring divine intervention. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. It says, woe unto me, who will deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and late mornings, right? I keep talking about this storm. Like I said, there's no people are they're no happy when it's cold. You got like people, they probably mostly are staying in the house. You know, um, people, they in sorrow. I wish it was we could go outside and make snowmen and stuff. With some places you can, but here it's just brick cold out. And like I said, many people, like I said, they can't afford the heating bills and such. What about that? Oh, it's so cold that hey, I'm grateful. The Lord had me in a place where, well, even in my previous dwelling, I didn't have to pay. Well, I had to pay for heating, but the heating cost was so low because, like I said, it's just me, and the place was well insulated. This place, I believe, well, I don't have to pay for heat, but so it's included. So, but I can't control it. But it's even with my windies or my windows open right now, it's I'm fine. I'm warm and such, and it's 7 degrees outside. And as I'm me particularly. I'm on the Lord put me on the third floor, so as we know, heat rises and such. So hey, I mean, like I said, hey, the Lord got me. Yahweh Tazah, warm all winter, man. Yahweh Tazah. Okay. But these days are going to be bitter, and don't be surprised if hey, you are facing a situation where all power is shut off, because that's another thing. You have the different high winds; they knock their power and such. You have to have like different pico energy here over where I'm over here. Have to come out and fix energy power lines and such, because they're getting the Lord bringing them storms and bringing them high winds and knock them out. And that could obviously, somebody having power for a bit, that could just mess up loads of things, mess up, refrigeration, mess up obviously different things that need to be running off power. Many people they're pretty much stuck in birth, so they're freaking out already. But it's gonna be some bitter times. All right, it says the beginning of famine, right? Scarcity of food and great death, the beginning of wars, and the beginning. It's like and the powers shall stand in fear. The powers being your elite, okay, the elite rulers that which are really the Edomite bankers and such. They gonna stand out in fear. Because knowing, hey, it's their end. Okay, going on. It says the beginning of evils are bad times. It says the beginning of evils. All right. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And this is talking from a man that the Lord was dealing with and had favor on, which is Isaiah, Ezra's. Okay? So he helped. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? For correction. And these things are sent for correction. The Lord bringing correction to the wicked. Uh, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. And yeah, many people they'll go do something, and then they'll go, "Oh well, I'm all right now. The power is back on," and just go back obviously to their folly. You got many, of course, people partaking in the pagan holiday of Saturnalia in Christmas, worship of Nimrod, Semiramis. Hey, Yule, the time of Yule, okay? Like I said, people don't care about y'all. And me really talking about the Israelites, we ain't supposed to be partaking in that, but hey, that's the culture and the spirit that's within, obviously, new, the rebirth of the Roman Empire, all right, being in, Babylon the Great, which this place embraces the Greek culture, all right? It's just forced upon Israelites in times past and still forced on us here, the new, where you have it, where the worship of multiple gods and such. People better get in that Janus spirit. Yeah, new year, new me. Dude, 2023 is going to be fucking crazy. I'm just gonna say it already. Like I see some stupid. They got some crazy kids. These little young kids that they completely gone. You ain't no. They just completely monsters and stuff. They savage. Can't tell them nothing. Like they don't have no common sense. Like, hey, I just pray the Lord just take them out, man. Because like I said, many of them, like I said, I'm talking about these wicked ones, wicked Israelites. Lord, and the wicked, the heathen, the Lord need to just take them out, And the Lord is going to take them out in great number. All right? I'm going to, y'all as I read that in the precept after I read these ones. Um, uh, it says, Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, and even then evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, great confusion. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger, the sword thou shall destroy. Esau is the sword. Okay? You're going to have people that's, oh yeah, I done prepped up. I got my preps. I got all like over 10 years of canned goods, non-perishables. We're good. I even got perishables that, are good for a certain bit because I got the whole Paris, solar and all different sorts to preserve things. Hey, in the times that we're coming in, the Lord gonna have the sword Esau Edom come in and take and destroy, invade houses, ravish women. All right, that's the times we dealing with, dealing with. All right. Um, this is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 13, and verse 31. And it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So not only is going to be Egyptian versus Egyptian, American versus American, the division amongst the families, the households, the kinships, you know, the different nations, where you're going to have even one realm against another, the physical and the spiritual, where you're going to have demons, apparitions that's going to get busy, angels that's going to get busy, all right? Angelic forces getting busy. This what we coming into is going to be like no other, okay? This is Second Esdras, chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great misery shall be done to them, in the latter time shall dwell in that. It's like it's that. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And you have many people in great pride, but you got somebody walking about with a Santa hoodie or something, or doing. If somebody say, "Yo, Saint Nick was not even so-called having like a white mind or something," you say that to them. Oh, what? I don't even care. Or even like I said, that the truth of these different pagan holidays and such. Hey, America, the American pride. Remember, so like the ruler, so is the people. You got people that's complete arrogant and prideful, haughty. No care about you know maybe they narcissistic by themselves. And that's all of this whole world, man. Because Esau pushes that like, that Satanism, me first, not the Most High. All right, backwards. Okay, but the Lord gonna bring great miseries, and to be miserable is not tolerable for many in these times. Okay, we drive people to take themselves out. You know, let me see if I go on this comic board. So I'm thankful for the spirit, man, just to be able to go into these precepts, man. Um, Let me try to go on this YouTube and see what's on the comic board. I'll get also Second Esdras chapter 9. Yeah, and that's where I wanted. It says here, Second Esdras 9 and 2. It says, "Then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which we do see, you see the different protests, amongst the people, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." You see in India or Sri Lanka, over there in Sri Lanka, them like try to overthrow their government leaders and kill them and do all type of things. You know, being up in their palaces and waiting. You know, we in of course the times of the end. Okay, it says for this is Second Esdras 9 and 5. It says, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest, and the end is being made clearly evident. You can see it. Okay, that is the end, man. What more is left? What more is left is the rest of the prophecies that God to be fulfilled, that haven't been fulfilled. All right, we're waiting for Yahweh Shai to come back to deliver us. Okay, now we're waiting for Jacob trouble. All right, we're waiting for martial law. But all of these things are quickly and fastly approaching. Right, maybe it's on the comic board. You have it over at Illinois and I think Ohio, like the suspension of pretty much enforcement of the law and different like city different government services and such, police, municipal work, trash collection, all that being suspended and such. I gotta look up to it again. But like pretty much they're talking about a purge like scenario. Okay? Hey, hey, these precepts ain't talking? Come on. Even so, the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. Ain't this a token? You see a temperature or some type of wind come over and hit parts of the U.S. that ain't even ain't even something that are places that ain't don't they used to that type of weather. Of course, y'all want, of course, yeah. No used to those temperatures and it's hit and people die from it. Of course, that's a sign. All right, and that's an effect from the Lord who caused it. Okay, which as we know, as I said, or as the scriptures say, out of the south cometh the whirlwind and cold out of the north. By the breath of the power frost is given, and breath of waters is straightened. You know, so it says, verse 2 9 and verse 8. It says, um, or verse 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works. Right, so we have to have works, faith and works, belief and works. So you can't just sit on your arse and just do nothing. You gotta show your faith by your works. All right, simple as that. You know me, I'm trying to grind as a prophet, good highways and hedges, prophesy, do studio lessons and such in the house. You know, make be showing much diligence, make my call extra short, be of a service to the congregation, right, of the Yashar of Israelites of the election. That's what I'm trying to, do and accomplish. So I can get, out of this place. Yahweh Zod was one of those ones that were first stripped and predestined to get to receive the salvation and no be destroyed in these sad perils. Okay? But it says, yes, in verse 8 shall be preserved from the sad perils, the perils that the Lord spoke of. Okay? And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. The Lord have his first fruits. Okay? The Lord have required his number. Then shall they be in a pitiful case which have abused my ways, and that it's like and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Okay? And it's going to be tormentful for people to go experience these different perils of hell and death, man. Cold, tribulation, grapes, all, getting in a concentration camp, all type of tortures. Hey, the Lord got a lot of things, man. So that's the lesson of the spirit called on you, how about you, my Shabbat, because that's the blindness to the elder apostles, other bishops, the great millstone, peace, and Jesus, the elect. That's it there. Shalom. Until the next lesson. Yes.